Imagine you decide to stop sleeping. Not tonight. Forever. No more closing your eyes. No more drifting off. No more waking up refreshed. Just you, awake, for the rest of your life. How long do you think you would last? A day? A week? A month? The truth is stranger and darker than you think. And somewhere out there, real human beings have actually lived through this exact nightmare. Not by choice, by a curse written into their own DNA. Let's start with what happens to an ordinary person who simply pulls an all-nighter. Hour 16. You've been awake since you woke up yesterday morning. Right about now, your brain starts to slip. Researchers who study sleep deprivation have found that after 16 to 18 hours without sleep, your body starts producing physical and mental glitches you can't control. You yawn. Your eyelids feel heavy. Your reaction time slows down. Nothing dramatic yet, just friction. Hour 24. You have now been awake for a full day. Studies comparing sleep-deprived brains to drunk ones have found something disturbing. Staying awake for 24 straight hours impairs your judgment and coordination to a degree comparable to a blood alcohol level of 0.10%. That's legally drunk, except you didn't drink anything. Your own exhausted brain did this to you. Your immune system starts to falter too. When you sleep, your body produces cytokines, proteins that help your immune system function properly. Skip sleep, and your body starts overproducing white blood cells instead, throwing your immune balance out of sync. You become more vulnerable to infection, almost overnight. Hour 36. This is where it gets genuinely strange. Your long-term memory starts to break down. Some people who have pushed through 36 hours without sleep report entire blocks of time disappearing from their memory completely. Soldiers in extreme training conditions have described waking up, so to speak, and realizing they have no memory of what they did for hours. Your brain cells, every single one of them, begin to slow down. Scientists describe it almost like watching a computer's processor throttle itself to survive. Every system is still running, but everything is running through mud. Hour 48. 2 full days without sleep. Now you start to see things that aren't there. Not metaphorically, literally. Sleep-deprived brains begin producing micro-sleep episodes, tiny 3 to 15-second windows where your brain forces itself into sleep, whether you want it to or not, even while your eyes are open and you're standing up. During these micro-sleeps, your brain may flood you with fragments of dream imagery, layered directly on top of what you're actually seeing. People report shadows moving, faces appearing in static, sounds that were never made. This is your brain trying to save you. It is so desperate for sleep that it starts stealing it in stolen seconds, whether you consent or not. Now here is the question that should genuinely unsettle you. What if you couldn't fall asleep at all? Not for one night, not for 1 week. What if the part of your brain responsible for shutting your body down was simply broken? This isn't hypothetical. There is a real disease. It's called Fatal Familial Insomnia, and it does exactly that. It's caused by a single mutated gene, passed down through certain families, that causes a misfolded protein called a prion to slowly destroy a specific part of the brain called the thalamus. The thalamus acts like your brain's gatekeeper between being awake and being asleep. When prions begin eating away at it, the gate stops working. Not slowly closing, completely failing. Doctors who have studied real patients with this condition describe a horrifying and consistent pattern. It typically begins around age 50. First, mild insomnia. The person assumes it's stress, or age, or too much coffee. Within months, the insomnia becomes absolute. Medical records describe patients undergoing sleep studies that found something almost impossible to imagine: 0 effective sleep. Not bad sleep. Not light sleep. No sleep. Hour after hour, night after night, the brain simply refuses to cross the threshold into unconsciousness. The body starts to panic. Without sleep regulating it, the autonomic nervous system, the part of you that controls heart rate, body temperature, sweating, and digestion, spirals into chaos. Patients begin sweating uncontrollably. Their heart rate climbs. Their blood pressure becomes erratic. Some patients develop a strange, frightening symptom: a tightening of the voice box during attempted rest, producing an audible, stridor-like, gasping sound, as if the body is fighting against the very idea of slowing down. Then comes the part that separates this from ordinary insomnia entirely. The mind starts to fracture. Patients begin to hallucinate. Not vague shapes, but vivid, sustained episodes that blur into their waking reality. Family members describe loved ones acting out fragments of dreams while seemingly awake, gesturing, speaking, reaching for objects that exist only in their mind. Memory loss accelerates rapidly. Personality changes. In several documented cases, what began as simple sleeplessness was initially mistaken for depression or for early-onset dementia, because the line between the two becomes almost impossible to draw. By the final stage, the body has been running on empty for so long that it begins shutting down its own functions one by one. Patients lose the ability to walk unaided. Speech becomes slurred. Eventually, many patients enter a state that doctors call a waking coma. The eyes are open, the body is technically conscious, but true rest, true sleep, never comes. Death typically follows within a year to 2.5 years of the very first symptom. Not from lack of sleep directly killing the brain, but from a body that has been forced to run, fully active, fully alert, for months on end, without the one process every single cell depends on to repair itself. This is the terrifying part. Sleep isn't a luxury your body indulges in. It is maintenance. Mandatory, non-negotiable maintenance. Every night, your brain clears out waste proteins that build up while you're awake. Every night, your immune system recalibrates. Every night, your memories are sorted, filed, and saved. Skip this process entirely, permanently, and the machine doesn't just slow down, it starts to come apart. So the next time you lie down and feel your eyes grow heavy, the next time your body insists, against your wishes, that it is time to stop, remember this: that heaviness isn't weakness. It isn't laziness. It is one of the most sophisticated repair systems in the known universe, gently reminding you that it has work to do. And somewhere out there, a small number of people inherited a gene that took that reminder away completely. They didn't get to choose insomnia. It chose them, and it never let go.